Today you will join me on a quick walkthrough of the Pueblo Tapao, also known as Pueblo Tapao. It's located about 15 minutes south of Armenia, and buses run about every 15 to 20 minutes most days. Like all of Quindio, Pueblo Tapao was founded in the 1800s by treasure hunters. Of course, people lived here for at least the past 10,000 years, but Spain managed to create devastation wherever they went. The native peoples in Quindio were known as the Cambayans. Aside from some craftwork and pottery, not much is known about them except for the amazing work they did with gold. Some of that became world famous after the movie Chariots of the Gods. Salamina was a jumping off point for much of the expansion of the 1800s. For example, Manizales was founded by a group from there, as was much of Quindio. Back in those days, the two major towns in Quindio were actually Salento and Calarca, but that story's for another time. The treasure hunters would search around and make camp where they could find anything of value. Tapao was one of those places. No one will ever know how much history was lost during this time. But the hunters would settle in and start digging. The primary goal was gold, of course, but any ancient artifact that could be sold was fair game. What makes Tapao interesting is the location. It's only a few miles from the coffee park. Being one of the most visited destinations for the Colombians, thousands go through this little village. Because of this, there's several upscale restaurants and nightclubs. There's also a medium-sized supermarket and a number of hotels and resorts you could stay. I've thought about living there for, maybe for a year. But as the internet would be a step back to me, because of the live streaming demands, I've had to rule it out, but I really enjoy going. On this day, I had a few chances to practice my terrible Spanish. At one hotel, I asked for a tour of the rooms. When it was over, my guests went on ahead. I remained to have a 5 to 10 minute conversation with the owner. Best part was she spoke no English. I don't get that chance very often, believe it or not. The other time was walking down one of these side streets because we're exploring the idea, are there apartments here? Are there any places to rent? And I can tell you, we found hardly nothing. But I found a group of, it was a mother, a daughter, a granddaughter, and a cousin. And all of these ladies were there just kind of hanging out. And I came up and I was quite the novelty for them. And I asked them, about, are there any places that you can rent and long term? Are there apartments and like that? And they said basically no, but they did direct me to a place that had efficiencies that you can rent for, a few weeks or a month, basically tourist kind of thing. There are a few buildings where you can get apartments out of them, but currently there's nothing available. There's several really nice bakeries here, and there were a couple butcher shops. One specialized in poultry and fish, and the other one specialized in beef, but they both had everything. And they were spotlessly clean, smelled fresh, smelled good, and the products looked really good. And that was kind of appealing because it's, you don't find that everywhere. So if you ever get a chance, go check this place out. It's kind of an interesting place to spend a few hours, have a coffee, maybe have a buñuelo, watch the world go by, meet a few people. I think you might enjoy it. I certainly did. I'll catch you in the next video. Get to that yet. You know, that's always the last thing. And then you have to pry it.